Shalom, shalom, Israel. I just wanted to jump on here and talk to you guys about something real quick. And just something I've been thinking about. And as you guys see from the title, it's really about polygyny. Now, for the record, I do support biblical polygyny. I do. I don't have a problem with it. I support it. Did some videos on it, some debates and things like that. Problem is, a brother of mine in the faith, Pastor Nabi, we talked briefly about the subject of polygyny, and we agreed on something. And that is polygyny is not for everyone. See, polygyny is for those who are called. I believe he did a lesson or something on it, and I didn't get a chance to see it, but we were in agreement that polygyny is not for everyone. What I'm noticing in Israel is that you have a lot of people who I think a lot of brothers are waking up and they're saying, hey, look, polygyny is not outlawed. If the law is not done away with, then obviously the law that governs polygyny is not done away with. And that is true. However, polygyny is for those who are called to it. Now, you don't have to listen to a bunch of Jezebels out there who be like, well, if you can afford to, you got to be able to afford it and you got to be rich and all that. Okay, no, you don't have to be rich. That's not it. But to know whether or not you are called, that's going to be between you and the Most High, okay? You don't want to go into something foolishly because you're going to get a lot of brothers out there going in there and trying to make wives out of these women and doing it all wrong, okay? And making a lot of wives that they can't sufficiently cover. And I'm not talking about just financial. I'm talking about the whole 9 yards, okay? Everything. And here's a couple of ways. Here's a couple of things that you may or may not know that polygyny is not for you. Now, there's some brothers out there who are honest with themselves and they say, look, you know what? I'm having a hard enough time with one wife. I don't have time and I don't have a desire to cover another wife because they understand the responsibility. And Yah bless them. Okay? So let me just say this. Fellas, if you don't have your house in order, if you don't have your house in order, if you can't get it in order, okay, if you have a wife now, you don't have your house in order, polygyny is not yet for you. It may not be for you at all, but that's up to the Most High. Or it's not yet for you because polygyny is not going to fix your house. Your house need to be in order before you even get into this particular lifestyle. Okay, your house has to be in order. That's for one. If you discover this idea of polygyny and you want it because you feel like you're called to it, you have to understand that, okay, now this is, for adults here. He doesn't call you through your pants. He doesn't call you through your pants just because you want to. Well, it's allowed and it's biblical, and all you care about is just getting more wives. Polygyny is not for you because it's not for that use. It's not for that purpose. Okay? It is not for that purpose. That's not for you. If you don't meet the requirements, okay? So if you cannot provide, and you don't have to be, rich, you don't have to be a millionaire or anything, but if you can't provide financially and spiritually, okay, if you can't provide those things, obviously if you go back to, Exodus and Deuteronomy and all that, you have food, raiment, conjugal rights, and you also have to nurture her. She has to be taught by you. So if you're not there, okay, it's probably not for you. If you're not well versed in some doctrine, not just the doctrine of polygyny, but in other biblical doctrine, because it's what we say to women, and with the Western mindset, they say, well, they want to get married, and we know women with the Western mindset, they're really focused on the wedding and the dress and the cake and all the extra stuff that goes with it, but they're ready for the wedding, but they're not ready for the marriage. So the same thing for gentlemen. You might be ready for the idea of polygyny, but you're not ready for the responsibility of polygyny. and both of them have to be together. Okay? So one, he doesn't call you through your pants. And also, if you cannot meet the requirements, it's probably not for you. And I want to also add, if you have no plan beyond just the fact that, oh, I just want a few more wives, then polygyny is probably not for you. If you have no plan beyond that, okay, you want extra wives for what? What's the vision? What's the goal? Because if he gave you, if he called you to polygyny, there's an accompanying vision. There's a purpose there. Okay, what is it? You building an empire, building a nation, growing your tribe. What is it? Okay, what is it? What is that vision? You know why? Because you have to convey that vision to your wives because they are helpmeets. What are they helping you do? Okay, what are they helping you do? Because we're supposed to be growing our tribes, growing our community, and things like that. That's what it. You have to have a vision. Okay, so I don't know if you put life insurance on yourself, you put life insurance on your wives, so on and so forth. So you can do this fair and equitable. Okay, just because it is allowed biblically doesn't mean it's for you. You can actually go into it and just ruin your life. So you don't want to do that. You want to make sure this is exactly what he wants you to do, give you a vision. We already know that he doesn't want you to approach it haphazardly. And when I say he, I'm talking about the Most High. He doesn't want you to approach it haphazardly, okay? That's just not how God operates. He just doesn't well, it's allowed, go for it, you know? There's a purpose, there's a plan, there's something there. I can't tell you what that is. That's between you and the Creator. But you figure that out first. Don't just go in, fall into this doctrine, because a lot of people, they get into this doctrine and then what they want to go do is convince their current wife that, hey, this is what I want to, this is what I want to do. See, it's not a sin. Look at this. Okay, fine. It's not a sin. But again, if your house is not in order, one of those orders is you have to get your wife up to speed. Okay? I didn't say, oh, well, you got to ask her permission, because I understand that from a biblical perspective that the man, he doesn't have to ask his wife permission. I understand that. Okay, I get that. I agree with it. I'm fine with that. However, if your house is not in order, why would you do that to the new wife and your current wife? Because you don't have your house in order. Okay, so if it's for you, it may not be for you yet. That's it. May not be for you yet. If it is for you, get your house in order, get her up to speed, get her in check with it doctrinally, or from the Bible, get her going spiritually, get all that fixed and worked out first, and then the union may have a chance. Okay, so I'm just seeing a lot. What's going on, brother M4 Johnny? Blessings to you and your household. It's just one of those subjects that we jump on and we don't get real versed in it. Okay, we need to understand. We just need to understand this whole thing. You can't just jump into it haphazardly and be like, well, I wonder why my wife not, what if I just really want. I've seen a lot of emotional pleas, like in a bunch of groups and things like that. There's these emotional pleas, these guys, and they say, well, it's okay by the Bible, and I told my wife this is what I want, and she's, not letting me, not allowing me, or she's upset and she's not on board and things like that. Okay, look. No, it is not in your wife's control. I understand that. But if you want peace and harmony in your household, if you force the issue, then you may be starting from scratch, okay? Shalom, D. Baker. Shalom, sister. Okay, so if you're out there and you're just forcing the issue, you may be doomed from the start. Okay, so you can't just say, hey, we're gonna do this and that. Okay, she's got to be prepared. Okay, you have to prepare her for something like that. And I'm not saying, oh yeah, she's gonna go for it eventually. Okay, thank you, sister. I'm not saying she's gonna go for it, but you got to prepare. You can't just spring it on her. Okay, you can't just do that. You can't just spring it on her. She's been, living a life a particular way or whatever, and all of a sudden you just spring. So you got to give time. You have to educate her, and then you got to allow her an opportunity to get her emotions in order. Okay, it's not fair. Now, guys, if you're not in the situation, okay, you're absolutely right. If you force the issue, you end up with no wives. Okay. Then if you also force the issue and the second wife or third wife, whatever, comes in, let's just say second wife comes in, and clearly your first wife is unhappy. Okay, her spirit is down. She's distraught. She is not, doesn't have her emotions handled. The second wife that you're bringing in is going to pick up on that, and again, that's how you're going to end up with no wives. Okay, they're going to be like, okay, I just walked into a mess. All right, so second wife want to come into a place where she's welcome and she can figure out what her role is in the whole thing, but she's expecting that husband and first wife to be in agreement and on the same page. That's why your house has to be in order first. Okay, second wife coming in is expecting your house to be in order. Okay, it's not her fault that it's not in order. All right, and it's also not first wife fault that you didn't explain and get this thing worked out. Okay, everything has to be in order and worked out. You have to deal with their in righteousness. Okay, you have to do your best to deal in righteousness. Now, to the brothers who don't are not married yet, you guys are in a perfect place. Okay, be happy. I know you might, well, I just want to do this whole thing. Be happy, because as soon as you meet your potential, your wife number one, you let her know from jump that that's the kind of lifestyle you plan on engaging in. Okay? Don't just say what somebody wants to hear just because it's nice just to get her. Don't do that. That's deception. If you know, and let me back that up for a second. Even if you don't know, you want to practice polygyny. Men, even if you don't know, don't say you're not going to do it. Even if it's not yours to begin with. If that's not your thought to begin with, just say, hey, it could happen one day. Right now, I don't feel like I'm called to do it right now. Okay? Could happen in the future, but I don't. So don't ever okay, I'm never going to do this. Okay? It's not for me. Okay, just say, I don't know, maybe not. I mean, I don't think that's for me now, but maybe later in the future, I don't know. But that way, she will know right from the start that it could happen. Now, if it never happens, hey, there you go. But if it does happen, she knows right from the start. And that's how you do it. You got people doing it all different ways. They say, okay, well, let me just find two women at the same time. Whatever. That's not always, not always the case. But, I agree exactly. Keep it on the table. Do not say one thing, switch it up. Don't do that, okay? Just keep it on the table. Even if you don't exercise that right, keep it on the table. So I'm telling all the men out there, that's what you do. You keep it on the table. Okay, so don't ever promise it away or anything like that. Don't say anything just to make people feel better or anything like that. Okay, you let them know from the jump. I believe everything in the Bible. If you're messianic or whatever, I believe everything in the Bible, including polygyny. It could happen in the future. I don't know. Or if you're a person who knows that's exactly what you're gonna do, then you just say it straight up. You say it straight up. Okay, just like sister right here said, no bait and switch. That is dealing treacherously. That is being wicked. Okay, don't just say, oh, no, hey, you're the only one for me. I'm gonna love you and you're all the woman I need. Don't say all that stuff if you don't mean it. That is deception. Don't do that. Don't do that. Just be honest, okay? Because one thing that women do appreciate, even if they don't like to hear it, okay? Even if let me say it this way. Even if it's hard for them to hear, they're okay with honesty. They can handle it, okay? They're okay with honesty. So just be honest, and you go from there. That's it. Because when you're honest with them up front, then they have to make a decision in their head, okay? I'm talking about before you get married. They have to make a decision in their head. Okay, if I want to be with this man, there's a possibility that polygyny could be in the future. Boom, she made a conscious decision. Okay? She made a conscious decision. You were honest, she made a conscious decision. Nobody have to do the old bait and switch. Now, the same thing, ladies, don't say you're cool with it. In the beginning, I'm talking about before you're married. Don't say you don't have a problem with it, and then when it actually comes to fruition, okay? When it comes to fruition, don't do the bait and switch. Okay? Don't do the bait and switch. Neither party should do that. Don't say, well, oh yeah, whatever you want. Yeah, I'm okay with polygyny, and just to get the man, and then you have him, since you have him first, and now what you're gonna do is you're gonna sabotage the whole thing. Now you're being wicked. Okay? Don't do that. Fellas, believe me, they prefer Honesty. He has a question. Do you that Yah has made most men polygynous or most women monogamous? I believe women are by design naturally monogamous, brother. And I think a lot of men are polygynous too by nature. Now you got to understand there's a lot of men out there with a Western mindset, and they have in the common vernacular side pieces and mistresses and things like that. Now remember, the side piece and the mistress, they are maintaining a relationship. So that is polygynous in a deceptive, wicked way. It's an unrighteous form of it, but that is polygynous. Okay, if you're maintaining a wife and then you're maintaining a mistress over here, you're maintaining them, an ongoing relationship or whatever, you're being polygynous. The thing is, without the truth of the scriptures and people understanding that polygynous is polygyny, okay, one man, multiple wives, that polygyny is scriptural, it is biblical. Without them understanding, without them having that understanding, then a lot of guys are left thinking, okay, by the modern Western construct that they are cheaters or they're womanizers or and don't get me wrong, some men out there are whoremongers. Okay, some men out there are whoremongers. They want to sleep with someone and they want no responsibility. They don't want to maintain a person. They just want bam and they're out. Okay, those are whoremongers. Those are philanderers. Those are fornicators. Okay, but I'm talking about the ones who actually are trying to maintain a relationship. There's a lot of men who have baby mamas out there, and they maintain these relationships and stuff. That's polygyny. That's polygyny. So a lot of women out there that say that they're not polygynous are actually polygynous. Okay, but that we just have a skewed, a messed up construct of what this whole thing is. Okay, it's just a completely messed up construct. Okay, many women know that at some point we've shared a man. Absolutely, absolutely. Absolutely. It's crazy. I don't even believe in a strict. I think the same way. Thank you for no problem, brother. Absolutely, I absolutely believe it. Well, women know that. They know that. I mean, when I was out in the world or whatever, I can date a woman. Okay, you know what? I say this in other videos. When I was out in the world, you can date as many women as you want, right? You can just date, and let's say you're open. Let's say you're open with it. Say you meet a woman, you say, hey, I'm dating. Oh, are you married? No, I'm not married, but I date. I date around a little bit. All right. So they already have an understanding that you're dating them right now, or you may potentially date them, and you're dating someone else. You're not serious just yet. Okay. Now, again, I'm saying if you're out in the world, I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying if you're out in the world. So I'm out in the world. If I were to date 2, 3, 4 women, but all of them know I date. I haven't settled down with any of them. They're all fine with it. And I could have. Is it true that polygyny is simultaneous marriages? Absolutely. That's what it is. You are simultaneously married to more than one woman at the same time. That's all polygyny is. But let's just say, if I go back to my example, if I'm dating 4 women at one time and I'm letting them know, hey, I'm dating you, and I date other people, whatever, they're fine. We're dating. We're maintaining relationships. We're doing our thing. They're okay with that. Now, say I sleep with all of them. They're all okay with it because I told them in the beginning, I'm dating. Right? Now, if I tell one of them, I want to be with you. Let's settle down and all that, right? Now, if I sleep with the same women, now it's wrong. And now she's not okay with it. And all that changed was a mental shift. That's all that changed. At first, I was dating you and 3 other women. And you knew I was dating with them. You knew I was sleeping with them. Until I said the magic words, hey, let's settle down. Let's be together, right? Now, if I continue to do that, she's upset because I told her the magic words, let's settle down. Or be exclusive or whatever, right? All it is a mental shift. Okay, so I don't even believe someone who says they're strictly monogamous, because if you're a woman and you really honestly believe you're strictly monogamous, then that means you will only marry a man who is a virgin. That's when you're truly, purely monogamous. Because you say, well, if he's not seeing anyone, I can see you tonight or I can see you today, and I could have just been seeing someone the day before. I can see you today and someone the very next day. So when you're talking about, oh well, it's one at a time. Well, you're with me and you're not with this other person. Then no. You're just talking about serial monogamy. You're just talking about one at a time. That's all you're talking about. Okay? You're just talking about serial monogamy. Oh, it's okay if I do it one at a time. Just like in this society, I can get married to a woman, have kids, divorce, marry another woman, have kids, divorce, marry another woman, have kids, divorce. I can have 3, 4, 5 baby mamas. Okay? And in this society, as long as I'm taking care of the children, paying child support and all that, that's fine. But if I say, oh, well, I want to take care of all the women and my kids all together, then that's crazy. That's crazy. You see how backwards it is? So, yeah, I don't buy into that whole monogamy, strict monogamy thing. It's just a construct, okay? It's just it's a social construct. That's all it is. And I don't want to get into the history of this forced social construct. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Shalom, brother Jay Ontario. Shalom. So glad you guys can meet. I would have a lot more people on these live streams if I would announce, hey, I'm gonna go live, and if I kept a normal schedule, that way people know when to join me. And I think I'm gonna do that. I just do it. I have a thought in my head, and I say, you know what, I'm just gonna go live and just do it. But I just don't want the brothers out there. Here's what I want. I want righteous brothers out there to practice this thing the biblical way, to have an example out there for Israel. And I'm talking about the grafted in, and I'm talking about natural. It doesn't matter. I just want it done the right way. That's all. That's all. Thank you, brother Ontario. Thank you, brothers. I just want it done a righteous way, so they have a righteous example, okay? So that other brothers will have an example on how to practice it. Hey, let me see how these righteous brothers are doing it. Order in their house, and then they taking care, their wives. And then I also want the sisters to see a righteous example too. Trust me, they're never gonna come around, brothers. They're never gonna come around if we keep showing unrighteous examples. They're never gonna come around. It's not going to make sense. Okay? You need a righteous example. It's never going to happen. They're going to be like, why would I want to even do that? I'll just stay single. Why would I want to do that? Okay? Monogamous men are trash, and these polygynous men, they're just as bad. You got to have a righteous example, and we have to hold up the righteous example. We got to be like this, hey, this is how it's supposed to be done. This brother's house is in order. He's taking care of all his wives. He's taking care of his kids. They have to have that example. You got to show them something. All right? So that's what we have to do. Ephesians 5, Yah tell us men to love their wives. Yes, yeah, absolutely. That loving them, nurturing them, guiding them, leading them, covering them, providing for them. It's a huge response. That's the thing about it. I know the low-hanging fruit. When anyone brings up polygyny, they always think about the bedroom. They always think about that. Okay? There's so much more work to be done after you're done in the bedroom. It's so much more work to be done. So much more responsibility that needs to be done after you leave the bedroom. Okay? If you're a guy who thinks that you're just going to just kick back, all right, just kick back and don't do anything, and let my wives work or whatever, it's probably not for you. Polygyny is probably not for you if you think you're going to do that. Okay? Now, hey, look, I'm not saying, hey, you can't have your wives do something, learn some type, gain some kind of income. That's fine. But if you're not going to earn any income, this is not for you, because it's not right. You don't see examples of that, of the fathers in there. It says if a man don't work, he don't eat. You don't see examples of the men in there. They just kick back and they don't do any. Because I know there's some brothers out there be like, well, I'm just not gonna, I just got to be the priest of the home. You still got to work. You still got to earn money. I don't care. I'm not saying you got to break your back or whatever. I'm saying you got to earn. You got to earn an income. You have got to earn. Don't try. Don't do that. Don't turn polygyny into pimping. Okay? We don't need that name on us. We don't need that. Don't turn polygyny into pimping. You got to work. I don't care. Hey, that's your household. If your wives are working, fine. Are you working? That's the primary concern. My first question is not going to be, are your wives working? My first question are you working? Okay? No, yeah, hard to plow if your butt's on the couch. Exactly. Okay, that's it. You got to be earning. So I don't care what you're doing. I'm digging ditches, driving trucks. I don't care. But you got to be earning. Okay, that's what the lead does. That's what the head does. Okay, you have to provide those things. Okay, in polygyny it says you provide those things. Now, if you put your team together and everyone kind of helps, that's fine. But don't no. All I'm saying is no, you can't just kick back and try to pimp your wives like that. Not cool. Not cool. All right. Actually doing it right. It's like reverse pimping. You're the one who's supposed to be doing all the working. It's really you're the one doing all the work. Okay. Jacob worked those 14 years. Okay. If anything, they were watching him work. All right. So I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So no, if you're gonna do it right, do it righteously. Okay. Show the other sisters out there, fellas. Show the other sisters out there what righteous men look like, how they handle their business, how they order their homes. Show them that. And the sisters. Exactly. Polygyny is actually reverse pimping. You know, pimping is a guy and he has a number of girls working for him. They are doing all the work. He's collecting all the money. Polygyny, biblical polygyny, is not that. It is the reverse of that. Okay? It is the reverse of that. And you're doing the nation of Israel as a whole a favor when you're showing them righteous examples. Okay? Righteous examples. That's what you gotta have. Like, I'm open to polygyny, but guess what? I don't want just any wife coming, a potential coming in, okay, and disrupt what I got going on. Okay, disrupt what I got going on. It's my desire, okay, it's my desire to share the vision. Okay, if there's a potential or something, it's my desire to share that vision with that person and see what, so they can see if they can assimilate to that. Okay, that's what it is. That's what the whole courting process is about. They get to see, all right? Because women want to see, you think that women don't want to submit. They want to submit to a righteous man. They have no problem with submitting to a righteous man. I mean, if there's a woman has a problem submitting to a righteous man, then she's a wicked woman. But a righteous woman has no problem submitting to a righteous man, but show forth your righteousness. Show that. That's it. Show that. Assimilate. Okay? But show her what she's assimilating to. Show her what she's assimilating to. Okay? In the whole courting process, she asks you questions. She's supposed to be asking you a bunch of questions. She should be asking a lot of questions because she has to find out, hey, what am I signing up for? So she should be asking a whole lot of questions, and you should be willing to answer those questions, and you should have an answer for it. She might have some, she might have some good questions, things that you haven't thought of, and it just gives you a right to and gives you an idea to say, you know what? Wow, I didn't think of that. Let me go back to the drawing board on that. Let me think about that. Some of our women, I mean, it's easy for us to beat up on our women all the time and all that. I get it. There's some wicked women out there, but some of the righteous ones are actually looking, okay, where can I find a righteous man? So you're doing them a favor by, one, doing what you're called to do by the Most High Yah, and being on your path. So that's my final message I want to convey to the brothers. The right woman, the righteous woman, is on your path. When you are trying to execute your vision and go in the direction that the Creator of the universe has you going, you can stay on your path, and the right woman is on that path. You don't have to get off your path to go find her and then bring her back and put her on your path. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. Be on your path, because she wants to see where you're going anyway. Be on your path, and she's probably on that path somewhere. Stay on the path. Stay on the path. When you run into her on your path, let her know where you're going. Let her know your plan. Let her know what you're doing. Thank you, sister. Thank you. So that's what you do. And the sisters, they reach out. They're going to pay attention to you. But if she has questions, and sisters, you got to ask her a lot of questions. Nothing wrong with that. He needs to have an answer for that. And that's okay, because brothers, you do have to have an answer. If a potential asks you a ton of questions, you need to have an answer. Okay? Why do you want polygyny? What is the vision that the Father put on your heart? What is your plan for the family? What's going on in the next 5 years, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? I'm just making up some questions off the top of my head, but there's a lot of questions that can be asked. There's a bunch of questions, brothers, that before you even pursue it, you need to answer some of the questions for yourself to make sure that you are called to it. So that's my message to Israel today. That's my message tonight. Okay, brothers. I just want to help my brothers. I want all of us to have righteous family. We want to raise up righteous seed. We want to build our tribes. We want to grow our communities. You want to know why? Because I want my sons and daughters to be with righteous sons and daughters from the other brethren. That's what I want. I'm sorry, I was trying to read that what Sister D was posting right there. But that's what I want. Isn't that what you want when you have kids? Don't you want your kids to be yoked to good, righteous other kids? That's what you want, right? You don't want your kids to be yoked up with other people in the world. So let's show forth some righteousness. Okay? Polygyny is for those who are called, okay? And it's up to us to lead that example. So one, have your house in order. Have a plan, have a vision. What did he put on your heart? Be able to articulate that to a potential. And last, you don't have to get off your path to find her. If it is in your future, if you are called to it, she's already on the path. She just might be a day away, a week away, a month or a year away, or 2 years away. But she's on that path. She's on the path. You go to find her. If you get off that path, you may not find her. Stay on your path. And want this, desire this for the right reasons, if indeed you are called. All right, this is Israelite Prepper, guys. Appreciate you guys joining me. Like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, search the scriptures. Improve all things.